Terry. Yeah, I'm Lynn Arnold. I have a business called Maturity Works. I decided to go out on my own about 2.5 years ago, and through the assistance of ASBAS, I rebranded, and I just had incredible support the whole way. So our business focuses on returning mature age people to the workforce, but we work with young ones as well, but that's our focus, is on mature age people. I've only just very briefly touched on Canva. Oh, I'm located just outside of Ipswich, but I look after people in Brisbane and the regional areas. I like to go out to the places where people have forgotten, like the scenic Rim and Somerset and Lockyer and places like that. And yes, don't know much about Canva. I've fiddled with it a bit, but really keen to learn more. Okay. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Lynn. And Heather, you are next on the cab off the rank on my screen here. So Heather, I'm going to get you to introduce yourself. Go for it.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather. I actually live on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. I don't have a business at the moment, but we're currently in the process of purchasing a building out in Goomeri, which is a country town, and hoping to turn that into a boutique accommodation.
Lovely.
Lots of information.
Yep. Have you used Canva before?
No, I haven't used Canva before.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm on the computer all day, so from that side, I'm not concerned about it, but really looking forward to learning something new.
Sure. Excellent. All right, Jeanette, you're next on my screen. Go for it.
Thanks, Kerry. Jeanette, I'm a chartered accountant. I live in Camp Hill. Left my corporate job at the end of June. Just started my business called Biz Connections. So I'm a business development specialist. I'm really awesome at making outbound calls, and that's what I'm doing at the moment for an executive recruitment company. I have played with Canva. I've done a Facebook thing, but then I did the ASBAS workshop on the beginners Canva workshop with Kate, yes, yeah. But yeah, I've played around with it, but there's some questions I've got as well. So
excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Kylie, you're next on my screen. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I'm just starting a business. I've recently studied a diploma in holistic integrated creative art therapy. And so I'm wanting to run workshops in creative things like art and sound therapy, things like that. And I'm on the Gold Coast. And what else? Oh, Canva experience. I started off with a very different vision for my business, and I have played a little bit with Canva. So I created some business cards, and what else did I do? I've done a Facebook, like a window.
Yes,
I don't know what you call it. Yeah, the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle a bit with content, so
sure.
like knowing how to focus that from a business perspective. So that's what interested me about this. And then I also, as part of my course, did some stuff on Canva, and I had lost, with that automatic saving, and then something happened and I created a copy and I lost material. So I was wanting to ask you about that too. So
yeah, that's frustrating.
Yes, but I love Canva. It's great.
It is a good program. Yeah, it's very easy to use. So thank you so much for being here. Christine Stewart, you're next on my list. You can go for it.
Morning all, everyone. My name's Christine Stewart. I'm the National President of the Australian Institute of Office Professionals. We've started using Canva for our national newsletter. First time was in June. We have a very experienced person using Canva. I can edit, but setting up a newsletter myself is why I'm here today. I live in Perth, so as I said, I'm waiting to have some breakfast when I zip off and get something to eat. I've been up since the crack of dawn because we've got issues with our website at the moment. So please bear with me, but I'm here to get some tips on how to create the best product, because I think Canva is amazing. I think it's a fantastic tool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that everybody in the room agrees with you there. So I do apologize if I get the pronunciation of this name wrong, but it's disappearing on and off my screen. I might move on. I might go to Ash first. Ash, you're next on my screen. Why don't you go for it?
She's on mute.
She's on mute. You're either on mute or you're not hearing me, one of the two. Sorry, maybe not here. Oh, here we go. She doesn't have a microphone. How clever are you, Ash? She sent us a little message saying that she doesn't have a microphone in the chat. Ash, put in the chat for us a quick introduction. I'll move on to the next person, but put in the chat a quick introduction for us, where you're from and if you've used Canva before. So Mackay, there we go. So excellent. So you type that into the chat for us and we'll know exactly where you are. Who am I up to? Emma, have we done you yet? Oh, Emma, here we go. She's in the chat as well. So a kids party hire company in Perth, a few people from Perth this morning, have experience in Canada but need tips and more content ideas. Yep. Yeah, I understand. And you have young children at home. Oh, gosh. So you're trying to do 5 things at once. We all probably understand that here. So Rachel, I might go to you.
Hi, Kerry. I'm Rachel. I haven't put the video up because I'm also on hold to an airline.
That's fine.
Kind of doing a couple of things at once. So I'm an MTA mobile travel consultant. I run my own business, mobile, from home.
Yep.
And as things are starting to quieten down now with refunds being processed, blah, 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 I've got more time on my hands, and Canva's something that I've been wanting to do and get into for ages, and I just haven't had the time. So this will be perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Great opportunity, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're local to me, aren't you, Rachel?
Yes, I
We've
am,
met before.
Yes, we have at the meetings. Yeah.
We have, yeah, there you go. So the importance of networking people is that you recognize these names when they do come through. So if you're not currently networking in your local area, it's a good thing to do. So okay, now I'm going back to this name, which I'm probably going to say wrong. So Shalana, I hope I've said that right, but if you're there and you're able to introduce yourself, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, hi, that's right. You got it correct, Carrie. I haven't actually met you before, so I've just been appointed the Secretary of the Logan Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Fantastic.
Come along to one of your networking nights there.
Yep.
Yeah, previously. So I'm in Brisbane, obviously.
Yep.
And we have a Dave's Home and Garden service. My husband and I have business, and and also too, just Canva is a platform that the chamber use.
Yes.
So, and I've seen this come through and thought a good opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely is. And the ASBAS program allows you guys to be able to do it so affordably as well. We were running these workshops in person before ASBAS. Now we direct everybody into ASBAS because we were charging $120 for a 2-hour workshop for people to come along. So for it to be so affordable for you guys online, it's just
awesome.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. And you can do things like work in between and turn your camera off if you've got other things going on, like children in the background, which always helps as well.
Yeah, so mine's not working at the moment.
Oh, isn't it? Okay, so who have I missed? Noelle, have we introduced you yet?
Hi, no, I've just arrived, so
fantastic. Yes. Welcome.
Thanks. So I'm an animal carer. I'm specializing in challenged dogs, like physical challenged and as well anxious dogs. Mm-hmm. I do programs, but as well pet minding, rehabilitation. So I've got a range of services just to optimize their well-being, whichever physical for comfort or to bring them joy if you want, if they're a bit stressed or anxious or calm as well. So yes, that's mostly what I do. I do as well Reiki for people and animals. And I've got a retreat as well for people with dogs, mixing some relaxing treatment therapies for people and the care I can bring to the dogs.
Fantastic. I love people that work with animals. I think that it's like working with children. There's a certain amount of patience, but it's also a certain personality as well. So have you used Canva before?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
I started on it, so is it 2 years ago?
Sure.
But I still discover some new new facilities, new buttons, things like this, and sometimes I'm a bit stuck as well in what I want to do. So I'm happy to come to this workshop to know more. And
Good.
as a program for a 1 month schedule, that would be perfect for me, because I need to concentrate on that, to program, to schedule ahead.
Yes.
That will be good for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
Carol,
presenting this.
You're welcome. Carol, have we introduced you yet? It must be your turn.
Hi, Carrie. I'm Carol. I'm in Cairns in tropical North Queensland. I have 2 businesses that work with super yachts, or the super yacht industry, and so we have quite a strong social media presence. And I do as many workshops as I can through the local council and things like that.
Yep.
And I've heard Canva mentioned a few times, so I thought it's time to see what it's all about.
Excellent. So you'll really get a lot out of this. You will enjoy it. So welcome. And Loretta, have we done you yet?
Hi. No, I just joined. I was
Excellent.
a little bit late coming in.
That's okay. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Loretta. I'm based in Beverley, just
Western
east
Australia.
just east of Perth. I have heard of Canva.
Yep.
I love Canva. I play in Canva all the time. It's my rabbit hole that I go down. And yeah, I run my own business. So we're rurally based. So I'm a rural business virtual assistant, and also do some yield mapping. So I turn raw harvest data into readable maps for primary producers.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you get a lot out of today.
No worries. Thank you.
We've got a full 2 hours to spend together, and like I said, I like to run these actual workshops quite casually. I prefer to talk to you than have a slideshow, because everybody's experience is different, and that's why it's important that we go around the room and everybody tells us where they're from and what their experience with Canva is. So if at any stage you have any questions, please don't hesitate to, well, what I might get you to do is, if you have a question, put it into the chat. Everyone knows where the chat feature is. Put it into the chat feature, and that way I can address it at the end of sort of talking about what I'm talking about in that session. But no question is a silly question. It's more than likely, if you're thinking of it, then somebody else in the room here today is thinking of it also. I do spend a lot of time going live inside Canva and actually showing you some tips and tricks, and making sure you're aware of all the features. So I'm assuming that the majority of you in the room here today have the free Canva account. And we actually have the paid Canva account. So I'm going to be showing you some features and advantages of having the paid Canva account as well, because a lot of people are umming and ahhing about whether they should have the paid or not. I'm pretty sure if you pay for a year, it's only like $13.99 if you pay for a year in advance from memory. Or you can do month to month as well. So it's very expensive. I'm pretty sure the month to month is like $17.99. So it's a really inexpensive program to use. And when you see today what we are actually able to do with it, then you'll probably think that it's an absolute no-brainer that you have to change over to the paid version if you're on the free. But like any good plan, when we're talking about, and today specifically, we're talking about social media content, we're making a month's worth of content for you to be able to put up. But essentially, this plan can be laid across your whole marketing. If you're deciding that you're going to do DL flyers or something along those lines, you've got to start with a plan. Now, for our business, we sit down once a month and we do our content planning on what we're going to do. I'll be honest with you, and you'll probably find this if you ever visit our Facebook page, we're not really consistent with it, and that's a bad thing. We should be more consistent with it, but like everybody else, There's only 2 of us running our business, and the business is doing quite well. So we are struggling to keep up with it. And we're just on that cusp of whether we go, okay, is this something that we need to outsource so that we can just focus in on doing our workshops and our training that we do with our clients? And, you know, probably next year, that's a decision that we will have to make, whether we outsource that or not. And we have previously done Facebook page management, so we know how to do it. It's just in everybody's business, everybody's at a different stage as to what's more important to focus on. And when we first started, the big focus was on social media because we were trying to draw in clientele. But as we've gotten to, you know, we're a year and a half down the track from starting our business now, we find that the business is coming in naturally. We don't have to do so much online advertising. So we post a little bit inconsistently. But if you are looking at using social media to attract more clientele, because you're not at the stage like we are, which is nearly full capacity, you need to have that consistency. So sitting down and writing a plan for a month. A lot of people say to me, what do you do? Do you have a sheet that you fill out? Or no, we don't. We sit down literally with a piece of paper and a pen. It just starts out there. And then we think about, for starters, how many different platforms we're going to be posting across. My advice to you there is please don't do too many and get yourself overwhelmed. You know, people go from not doing anything to going, right, I need to be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then it just becomes overwhelming to deal with it all. So if you've never done social media marketing before and you're here today because that's what you'd like to do, just start out with one, get yourself comfortable with that one, and then introduce another one. The great thing about today's technology is Facebook and Instagram are linked. So there is a way for you to be able to post on both of those platforms at the same time. But you're better off having your focus in one area than you are trying to spread yourself thinly across multiple different areas. So when it comes to social media, that's my real advice. And not all platforms are right for all businesses. But I think it's important that you are on all platforms, if that makes sense. So, for example, LinkedIn is a really good example. LinkedIn is a really professional social media. It's where it's really good for business to business. If you're a business that actually works to other businesses, like my business, you know, obviously I train and help other business owners. So it's a really good platform for us to be on. We can sort of talk to a lot of people on there as well. And that's really suited to our business. But if you are a dog groomer, it may not necessarily be the best platform for you. That's probably going to be more of an Instagram or a Facebook kind of platform for you to be on. But in saying that, I don't think it hurts for you to have a page on LinkedIn, and so that people know that you are a business. So you can set these things up and you can have them sitting there. What I'm saying is there's probably no need for you to post to that on a regular basis and spend a lot of time on there. Have your business on there so that the people on LinkedIn, if they see you around, they can look you up and they want to, that's great. But it's not necessarily where you need to have your primary focus. We really like to advertise on Facebook and Instagram because particularly with Facebook, we find people don't know what they don't know. So, you know, people don't necessarily know that they need our services. We have to go to them. So we have to go to where they're going. And we find that a lot of our clients are hanging out on Facebook. They're in the local community groups around Australia. We are in local community groups and business groups in Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia. And we spend our time interacting in those groups through our page with other people so that they can eventually see, hey, actually, these people might have something that I need or that I want. So that's kind of what Facebook advertising is about. And if you're just going to create content and post it on there and not do anything with it, it's probably not going to work as successfully. You need to be able to share it into groups that you know where your clientele is so that you can tell them what it is that you do, because they're not hanging out on your page. They're hanging out in other areas of Facebook. The other thing is if people comment on your content, it's really important that you interact with those people. So if somebody writes a comment on a post, write a comment back. Be interactive. Remember, it's social media. It's about being social. it's essentially like being at a local barbecue and interacting with people there as well. And this is what's important, and the reason why I'm talking about this now is because we're talking about, we're about to write a plan for our content. What kind of content are we going to write? So the best example that I can explain is I always use the barbecue analogy. So if you turned up to a barbecue with a whole heap of people that you didn't really know, you would walk into that barbecue and people would say, "Hi, how are you?" And one of the first questions is, what is it that you do? So you might go, "Well, I'm an electrician, and this week I put in an air conditioner." And then they'll go, "Oh, that's really great." And then what happens is the conversation moves on to something else. It goes, "So where do you live?" Or "What are your interests?" Or you don't keep talking about the fact that you're an electrician and you install air conditioners. And I want you to think of Facebook as the same thing. If you're constantly advertising your business and only advertising your business on Facebook, it's like going to a local barbecue and just walking around and randomly saying, "I own a business, everybody, I own a business." People just are going to look at you and go, I'm not interested in even talking to this person, because all she ever does is wants to sell her business. And I know if I go and talk to her, if I interact with her, I'm going to start getting, emails or something. So I'm just going to stay away from that. So think back as to what you would do to be social with people, and that's how you need to interact on a platform like Facebook. So what are the other things that people that would be interested in your business are going to be attracted to? And yes, there are funny memes, there are funny Fridays, animals doing human things is a big one that everybody loves. They will stop. It's about getting them to stop the scroll and see your business name and not keep scrolling past and go, "There's another advertising for it." So being relatable on social media is really important. And if you're just advertising your business all the time, then you're not being relatable. So you need to talk about other things. Things that are happening, I always say, stay away from politics, religion, all of those things. I think we can add climate change to that list now as well, because they can be quite controversial. But, the everyday things that are happening around the country, don't be afraid to put some content up about that. So happy to see this happen, or, whatever the case is. I know, Rachel, you're saying you're obviously with travel. There's a lot of bans on travel at the moment, with borders being closed and people not being able to go overseas. I'm having cruise withdrawal, people. I'm literally having a cruise withdrawal. So I love cruises and I go on them all the time, and I'm having a real withdrawal. So the day that cruises are allowed to start again, even just Australia-based ones, that's going to be a day for celebration for me. Yeah, so I think, and that would be something that would be relatable to, even though it's not related to your business, it's related to a lot of people who you might be able to service. So you're trying to attract their attention. So it's a really good thing to be able to put up, let's all rejoice and celebrate, and cruising is back on the agenda, let's book it all in. So people find that relatable, and they will interact with it, which is what you want. The more people interact with your posts, then the better off it is. So getting back to planning your content, you've got your little notepad next to you. I'm just flipping mine over because I'm doing this as we speak. I don't have any plan for this workshop, so I run by the seat of my pants on this one. So you have your notepad and your pen. And the first thing that you need to decide is how many times a week that you are going to post. And I'm going to ask you just to pick one platform for now. So I'm going to stick with Facebook because that's what I'm going to be using today, because that's nice and easy for me. And so you need to decide how many times you should post a week. It's probably the number one question that I get asked. So is there a right and is there a wrong? It's actually interesting because in the last couple of months, Facebook is actually moving away from quantity of posts and moving towards quality of posts. So it wouldn't surprise me in the near future if likes get taken away, just like they have on Instagram, because they understand that from a mental health perspective, that's affecting a lot of people. So I think they will make moves to do that in the not too distant future. So quality content that you're putting up is stuff that people are interested in, that they're going to stop. They might laugh at it. They might write a comment, because it's getting your business name in front of more faces. So if I was to put up sort of 5 or 6 posts a week, there's no guarantee that everyone's going to see those 5 or 6 posts. So what Facebook is saying is, you know, you're better off putting 3 quality posts up that people actually want to see than you are putting up 5 or 6 posts that people aren't really interested in. It's no longer, it used to be about putting up the most amount of posts, so people would just post every day or 3 times a day. But Facebook is actually moving away from that now, and they've proven that in their recent algorithm, that if you're not putting up quality content, they simply won't show it to anybody. And you all would have seen those Facebook pages where there's the poor business owner who's spending the time to put up content every single day, and there's not one like, one comment, one share, there's nothing on there. And that's a lot to do with Facebook in the background. They're saying, look, people aren't interested in this. We've tried to push it out and they're not interested. It doesn't come down to whether the content is boosted or paid for. I have been studying over here in Queensland. We've got a state election happening. I always find state elections fascinating. So I like to study the candidates and the type of content that they're putting up. And interestingly enough, on Facebook, you can actually see how much somebody is spending on ads in the page transparency. So you can go into the page transparency, and to give you an example, there's one candidate that has in the last week spent $1,300 on Facebook page advertising and has managed to reach 2,000 people. But then there's another candidate who only spent $75 in that same week, who managed to get 1,800 people reach those posts. So that was a real indicator to me of that. When I went onto those 2 pages, one of them had hardly any likes and hardly anything was going up, and it was very much one of those hate campaigns. This party's not doing the right thing. This is what they should be doing. It was one of those. The other page was completely different. It was, this is what I do. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm going to do when you vote for me. It was really just talking about the area. People were asking questions about, how do you feel about this? And they were answering, look, that's actually not a state issue. That's a federal issue. And they were really just answering the questions as it was. And I've really found it interesting. There was hate comments on there as well. You get that with every election. The difference between the 2 pages is one was ignoring the hate comments, and the other person was getting on and saying, I can appreciate that's the way you feel, but here's what I stand for. This is what I stand for. So because of that openness and transparency, there was lots of interaction on there, and that's what people want. They want to know you. They want to know the person behind the business. They don't just want to know the business. So that's why it's really important to show them things other than just, this is what we do and this is how much it is. Those little flickers of being out and about stories are really great. Excuse me. Stories are really great on Facebook because they only last 24 hours. So you can put a quick story up about being on the beach, and that gives everybody something to relate to as well. So when you're thinking about your content, you're thinking about how many times you post a week, my recommendation to you is concentrate on just 3 quality posts a week, so that you're not going to get overwhelmed. So if we're looking at a 4-week month, you're talking about 12 pieces of content. And see how straight away that changes. When you say 12 pieces of content, it doesn't feel so overwhelming than to think, if I'm going to post every day, well, I need 20 to 30 pieces of content. So I can see a question there. Can a story on Facebook be a video or a webinar? I haven't tried to do a webinar on stories. Videos, yes, you can do. If you have this one piece of advice I'll give to you, if you have your Facebook and your Instagram linked together, my advice to you is do your story in Instagram and put it on Instagram and Facebook, because the Instagram story platform is actually a lot easier to work with than the Facebook. If you have a video on the Facebook story and the video is longer than the allowable time frame, you have to keep going in and editing that video, where on Instagram you can just post the whole video and Instagram will actually break it up for you. into those little segments. So that would be my advice to you, with stories there. But yes, you can do video, and video is very successful in those stories. That's what people like. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Today, what I'm talking about with content, stories to me is an additional thing. The content that I'm talking about is your actual posts and how we're going to post. So we're looking at 12 posts. We're going to do 3 a week, and we're going to have 12 posts. So out of those 3 times a week, there's a few different ways that you can choose what type of content. And this is where a lot of you have said in your introduction that it's the type of content that you struggle with, that you don't know what to put up. Firstly, you need to remember that you're an expert in your field, and people don't know what they don't know. So something in your business, particularly when you've been working in it for a long time, becomes second nature to you. But your clients and your customers, it's not second nature to them. They don't know. So be very careful about when you're posting about using too many acronyms that people don't understand, and not putting an explanation in. You know, I saw a really good one yesterday, and it was a great post that got my attention, but I had no idea what the acronym meant. And essentially, yes, that business was looking at talking to people who understood their language, but there could be people out there that actually need their services that don't understand the language. So it's really important that you make sure you do that, and to make sure, and please forgive me for using this word, but just really make sure you dumb it down. Keep it really basic. Don't get too technical. If somebody wants to know a technical question, it has a technical question, don't worry, they'll ask you. You know, they'll say, but just make sure that you're speaking on the level of somebody that possibly has never used your services before and doesn't know what it is that you do. So what we want to do is we want to have a great mixture. So we need them to understand what it is that you do business-wise. Absolutely. But we want to do it in a way where we're not going, this is my business and this is what I do. We're not just holding up that billboard. If I was to give you an example, let's say you're this just popped into my head, you're a car washer, okay? You're a car detailer. So you might put up a post that's a very social post. It might be a Friday afternoon post. I like to call them Friday funnies. That sort of reminds me to have that funny kind of content on a Friday. People are heading into the weekend. They're a little bit more relaxed. So I might put a picture up, and Google's a great thing because I know this picture is available, of a dog washing a car. It's going to get people's attention. It is still related to my business because I'm a car detailer, I'm a car washer. And it may very well be that for my business, car detailing is actually, the weekend is not the time that we actually have off and relax. It could be that I'm really busy on the weekend because everybody gets me out to detail their cars on the weekend while they're at work during the week. So I'm leading into the weekend and I put a picture up of a dog washing a car. And the headline, you know, the wording might be, you know, we know you all love animals doing human things. But as we head into this weekend, we're really looking forward to looking after our customers and giving their cars a complete detail. And don't worry, our staff are a lot more trained than the animal in this picture. So what the picture is going to do, the picture is going to get them to stop scrolling because they're going to go, what's this about? What's this dog washing a car? And then it's going to get them reading the text, and the text is going to be related back to your business. So essentially you're saying, I wash cars, I detail cars, but you're not just holding up a sign that says that. You're actually trying to be a little bit interactive. Now, what will happen is people will like that post. They will laugh at it. Some people will love it, especially dog lovers, you know, they love that. And what do you do from there? So for us in our business, when we first started, and admittedly we don't do it all the time today, is we would look at all of those people that have liked that post and we would send them all a personal message. We would say, hey, thanks for interacting with our page. Here's a voucher for something. Here's a 10% voucher for this. And this is how you can very quickly scale your business using social media. And if you've ever been to a talk of somebody that has used social media, they'll tell you it's not about your content and what you post, it's about what you do after. So after they like, what do you do? Do you just go, oh, that's great, people like me, I feel really special now? Or do you contact each of those people and go, hey, thanks for liking my business page, I really appreciate the support. If you want to know more about what we do, head to our website. So you're kind of interacting with them on a business level. They might not need your services. You know, in that message, you might say, I'm a car detail, you know, obviously we detail cars. If you want to know more information about it or would like to use our services, here's our website. Here's all the details. They might not use your services, but they might be talking to someone. They might go, you know what? I got a message from these people the other day. I just liked one of their posts on Facebook and they sent me this message. And, you know, that's the kind of business that I'd want to deal with. You should give them a call. I'll give you their details. And that's how word of mouth spreads. So quite often people will recommend our services. And I think I've never even done business with that person before, but I've interacted with them in some way, shape or form, whether it's been personally or online. So you need to make sure that you have that interaction as well. So with your 3 posts, we want to make sure that we have something that's a little bit funny, that's related to your business. I like motivational. I'm just going to admit somebody else into this room who's just turned up. Hello, Rachel. I don't know if you can hear me, but hello and welcome. We have started. You will get a copy of this recording, so please just join on in. So our 3 posts, I want you to have something that's a little bit funny and relatable, something that's business-like, so a business post, whether it's this is what we do, here's our details, that type of thing. And then I also, another really good one that you could use is a Monday motivation. So I think if you're posting Monday, Wednesday and Friday, you've sort of spread it out over those business days throughout the week. Keeping in mind, if you're a business that actually works Saturday and Sunday, those days may differ for you. It may be that you're closed Monday and Tuesday. So, you know, maybe your posts need to be sort of, you know, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So put it in line with what your business is. Time-wise for posting, early in the morning or later in the afternoon is the best time to post, and keeping it sort of local to your area and attracting those locals at that time frame as well. So these 3 post ideas are a funny post, a business post and a motivational post. But there are other posts that you can do as well. So we spoke very briefly earlier about putting a post up about something that's happening nationally on the news. You know, a good news story post is always a good one. So if you don't already follow your local newspaper, you know, your little free Quest newspaper that's likely around in most areas, or you have these community newspapers as well, they tend to have the really good news stories in it. People love a good news story. So it's something that's coming up in the local area, but just make sure you put your comment with it as well. You know, I was really encouraged to see such and such high school introducing a program that allows students to learn about handling their money. If you're an accountant, that's a perfect story for you. It's a segue into what it is that you do as a business, and it's showing people that, hey, this is what's coming up. So, you know, looking at that, that local, the local swimming pool, the council's putting a new swimming pool in. You know, isn't it great? We're leading into summer and it looks as like the swimming pool is going to be ready on the 1st of December. There'll be lots of kids in the area who are going to have some fun over this summer. So again, it's a local thing. You're attracting your locals as to what's happening. So does that kind of make sense? Does anybody have any questions on anything that we've spoken about so far? No, you're all very quiet today. So yeah, so that's are you getting the gist of what kind of posts that you can do and the type of content that you can do? And tying it back into your business isn't always possible. Sometimes it's just a post for the sake of a post. And you can search lots of ideas. If you're like me, I'll be honest with you. This is why I love Canva. I'm not really that creative. I use a lot of the templates in Canva because I find it easy. I search a lot of memes if I'm looking for funny content because I'm not naturally funny. I have a friend who is, you know, she could just make this pen sound hilarious. That is not me. I'm too analytical for that. So I need inspiration. So if I see something on Facebook, I'm constantly scrolling through on my phone. But if I see something on Facebook that I think is funny, I always save it. You know how you can save certain posts in Facebook now? So I save it to being in a particular folder. I've set up like a folder on Facebook so that I can come back to it and go, oh, I'm looking for something funny. So I'm going to have a look in my funny saves and see what I've saved there, just to get, you know, a little bit of content idea, because I'm not that creative. Now, the question is, would you stick to one day being funny and for motivation, or is it better to be not so regular so people can be surprised? Look, that's a good question. I was always a really big believer in like the motivational Monday. People are getting back into work, but the thing is that everybody's doing motivational Monday. So, you know, you might like to flip it and do your motivation on a Friday and make your motivation around making sure that you enjoy life and relax over the weekend. You know, it really doesn't matter. There's no hard and fast rules. I do like consistency though. I think it makes it easier from a planning perspective. Because if we've just said, right, we're going to have 12 posts, so we've already planned that out. We've had 12 posts and we're going to post on a Monday, on a Wednesday and a Friday. And whatever day you decide to pick, it doesn't matter. As I said, your business might be different. And on Monday, I'm just going to stick to Monday. It's going to be motivation. Wednesday is going to be my business post. And Friday is going to be my funny post. So straight away, we pretty much know what we're planning, what our plan is for that whole entire month. Now, when it comes to your business post, this is where you need to get organized with your business. Do you have any sales that are coming up? Do you have, you know, for us, it's workshops. What workshops have we got coming up? What are we going to be advertising in that business slot that is going to draw people's attention in? So you need to be organized with your business and knowing, you know, what specials that you might have as well, because it just makes it easier for that business content to be able to have the business post as well. But when it comes to the motivation and funny, mix it up, do whatever you like. If you want to mix it up every week, you can do, if you feel comfortable with that. I am really good with being consistent when I know what I'm doing on what days. And it also means that because I'm going to be scheduling these posts in, I'm scheduling them in, I'm not going to be posting them on that day. I don't need to think. I just sort of go, oh, today's Monday, so I do motivation on Monday. So my post is going to be about motivation. So I don't have to think about it. So if I don't get to Facebook until like, you know, 12 o'clock and there's a whole heap of notifications on there, I know those notifications run a motivational post. And regardless of what day you do it on, having that consistency can be really handy for you as well. So is it sort of, I guess I want to bring it back to you guys now and just get some interaction. But can some of you, I guess, comment on whether that has helped straight away, just thinking about having 3 posts a week, and that's only 12 pieces of content for the month? How do you feel about that?
That was useful.
Yes. Yep. Have you previously, Jeanette, found that you possibly was thinking it's a little bit overwhelming to do a month's worth of content all at once?
Yes, I'm probably more focused on LinkedIn at the moment because that's where I'm a B2B business.
Yep.
So LinkedIn will probably, but I did create a Facebook business page and I haven't done anything with it because I'm trying to do a website as well and all of that stuff.
The thing, because obviously I'm a business to business as well, but I really deal with those micro startups. So it really depends again on exactly what your niche is, and micro startups is a real niche of ours. And we find most of them, because they're already on Facebook socially, that's where they start with their businesses. So that's why we spend a lot more time. We were dealing with corporate when we first started, and LinkedIn was great for corporate. If you want to go down the corporate track, LinkedIn got us a few clients there. But we found that we were attracting more one-on-one people. So it's great that you have a platform that you know you want to advertise on, because that's the first step. Starting out with 12 pieces of content and making that consistent for a month or two, it takes away the overwhelm for starters. You can go, that's actually manageable. but it's consistent and it's going to get you that bit of following on whatever platform you're using as well. So did anybody else want to contribute about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
With I think that yes, it does relieve that pressure of what could we put on there today or something like that. And I think so we have the lawn mowing business, and we also do high pressure cleaning. And Dave, we've just done a bit of aeration, like it's just doing a little bit out of like more around the garden people. And recently he put and we do try and do like videos that give tips, like how to, like simply change the blade on the mower, just things like that. So we've been doing a bit of that, but I think like having the different types of posts, like thinking about, because we've tried to do like, I don't know what I'd call it, but educational content, like try and give people tips. So we've focused on that a bit. So having something a bit different. And then Dave posted this picture of a tree, and it was in lockdown. It had all these like about 2 foot high of wine bottles around it.
Yes. And
it was like about, he had some little comment about out in the yard, like I've been out in the yard because he's mowing. And it went crazy. Like it was just crazy. I think it had like reached over 2,000 people, and it was just a post. Yes. And so because it went so high, he boosted it, like, it had already. But so it was interesting, like just to have something, it was a bit funny, and his comment was just really, his post thing was really good. And he sort of, and I think interacting with the comments, like interacting with those people. So we generally, if someone comes and likes our page, we have that automatic thing set up. But I think it's a bit more personal to respond personally in comments and things like that. So that was good tips.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're exactly right to get that. And how Facebook works is, when we put a post up, a lot of people make mistakes of putting a post up and then boosting it straight away. That's actually backwards. It's the wrong way to do it. You should put a post up. You should see how people react to it. And if you're getting good interaction from a post, that's the post you should boost, because that's going to naturally be seen by more people, and Facebook will want to show it to more people because it appears to be things that people want to see. So, and just also be conscious of what your page name is. Make sure that your page name is your business name. And if you some businesses they have a business name, but their Facebook page is set up in their personal name. So, and that's good, because you want to have that kind of, ours is just Altitude Business Solutions, but I could have Kerry Savran Altitude Business Solutions. That could be my page name. So people can actually relate to the person and also to the page. So that's an option for you as well. But just to make sure, because essentially that's 2,000 people that have seen your business name. And Facebook can do it for free, or can do it so relatively cheaply. And when you go back to the old, if I go back to the old DL advertisements that you put in everybody's letterbox, you're essentially paying 60 or 70 cents for someone to pick it up, look at your business name and throw it in the bin. And Facebook is doing it for much, much cheaper than that. So that's why it can be really effective. Oh, that's really good to hear, because sometimes it's just that having that plan, and that's why I go right back to basics and we do this, because I think it's important to do this. You'll get the Canva stuff quick. It's so interactive, it's so easy, but it's the planning beforehand. So knowing where you're headed with your business, what specials have you got coming up, what's coming up this month that you can use for your content. And then picking the days and just keeping it to 3. Don't overwhelm yourself. We're looking at making 12 pieces of content today, and just showing you how easy it is to be able to make it. And I'm going to do it in about an hour, is the plan. So, and that if you could sit down once a month for an hour and create content and have it scheduled, ready to go, and then you could walk away from that and only have to interact and not worry about content for another month, wouldn't that be awesome? So it's a really great way to work.
Excuse me, Kerry, can I just make a comment? Being a national membership association, we have to prepare our posts weekly, because things change so much that we just can't set up a month's posts.
So is there anything that is standard with what it is that you do?
No, because we're offering events face-to-face at the moment. In Perth.
And how far in advance do you plan those events?
Oh, no, put it this way. We plan our webinars a month in advance.
Yep.
So that's not an issue at all.
Yep.
And also the same as our face-to-face events. We give our members that what we try to do is put the original post up and then we change it to suit our needs on a weekly basis. And that seems to work. Trying to set up a month in advance isn't going to work because the business climate is just changing daily, as you would know.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of different bits of content.
But I take on board what you're saying. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's good to have some sort of plan. So your motivational Monday, Friday, Wednesday, whatever it is that you want to do, that's something that could definitely be planned in advance.
Yeah.
You could have your business posts as your events. So that's planned in advance. So you don't have to worry about that. But I completely understand, obviously, being the president of the chamber, we have the same thing. A lot of the information that we share is off the cuff.
Yes.
And of what's happening, you know, the government might decide today that they're going to bring out a new thing for business owners. So we share that today. And you don't know what's coming up. So it's just to have those three consistent, so you know you don't have to worry about it, is always good as well. But yes, absolutely, share that off the cuff stuff all the time.
Thank you.
Jeanette, did you have a question as well?
Yes. So I belong to a lot of different, obviously, community groups, and I've been selling stuff on Marketplace. But I was going to say, because I've been waiting for everything to launch, website, all that sort of stuff. So is it possible just to say, introduce myself and in the local groups and say, hey, I love making phone calls, I can help you with your business, just a brief introductory post like that without
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to get the best longevity out of a post like that, I would recommend putting it on your page and then sharing it into the groups from your page.
Yes, so
because people can go back. So you in a lot of local groups now, Facebook pages can actually join those groups, which is really handy because it means that when you are posting and interacting, you're posting and interacting as your business. Again, more people are seeing your business name. You're getting a set of eyeballs on that business name. So that is sort of the best way to do it.
How do you post in your business Facebook name then?
So when you go to join a group, if they allow pages to join, it will come up saying, what identity do you want to join as? Do you want to join as yourself or do you want to join as your page? So I always say that if it's business related, always join as your page. If it's a group that you are personally already a member of, what you have to do is share a post from your page over, and when you share that post, Facebook comes up with a notification saying this group actually accepts pages to join. Would you like to join our Two Business Solutions? And you can say yes. So that way you can interact as yourself personally, or you can interact as the business, and you can choose. But that's a really great way of getting your business again in front of a set of eyeballs.
Yeah, and starting local. Yeah.
The real estate industry would be a really good place for you to niche into, Jeanette.
Okay, thank you.
The real estate industry is booming at the moment. And if there's one thing that real estate sales agents hate to do, it's make phone calls.
Yes, and I'm really good at it and I love it. So
so that could be a little niche for you at the moment. The real estate industry is, well, I know here in Brisbane, it's absolutely booming.
Yeah, I'm in Brisbane, so
yeah, it's a great opportunity for you there as well. So a little tip for you.
Yeah. So should I just ring them obviously and make contact with them? Yeah, that's what I would do.
Good at phone calls. That's what you do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you.
She's good at phone calls, but she's sending me a text message probably doesn't go down too well.
Yeah, understand. Yes.
I see another message there. We didn't have a website for ages and Facebook was how we built our business. Yeah, absolutely. Facebook, you can link your Google My Business. If you have a Google My Business account, you can link that to your Facebook page, and that can essentially be your website if you don't have a website yet. There are many businesses who don't run websites. It's not something I recommend. What happens is, particularly online, when people find you, and it doesn't matter whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, or if they find your website, they're looking for other points of clarification that you are a reputable business. So they will then do a Google search and they will say, oh yeah, look, they've got a Facebook page, they've got a Google My Business page, they've got a website, tick, tick, tick. It's getting them to believe that you are actually a business, a credible business that they want to deal with. But you can absolutely build your business with just a Facebook page. You just need to make sure that you have the right content on there and doing the right things. So thanks so much for sharing. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so we now know we're posting 3 times a week. We've got an idea of the different types of content that you could post, and we have an understanding now that dogs doing human things can actually attract attention for our business as well, particularly if they're doing the things that you want to do. It's we're now going to move into, I'm going to attempt to jump in live into Canva and make sure that everything, I've just got somebody else joining in as well. Hopefully my internet is going to hold up and we're all going to be good, but I haven't been cutting out or anything yet so far, have I, guys?
No.
Oh, great. This is great. So sometimes I have problems. A couple more bits of things going into the chat. Why is it some settings are set up with some colleagues are so different and you don't receive their alerts? So are you, sorry, Christine, are you talking about you've liked a business page on Facebook and you're not actually seeing their content? Is that what you're referring to?
Just a second. What I'm saying is I'm part of a 2 or 3 that manage communication with a voluntary organisation.
Yep.
They have, in fact, made me an admin.
Yes.
I've never received the alert. I can't even go in to the page and check to see that they have done it. They keep sending me, which they say they're sending me the alert that please go in and accept it. Never got it. I can't post to this page. It sends my posts into community. And it must be the way the original page that they're managing has been set up. It has to be, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I mean, it sounds really strange.
It's weird.
You're trying to do all of this from a desktop or a mobile?
No, it's all on desktop. All of our setup is on desktop.
And you've gone to that page on your desktop?
Absolutely.
And does it have any notifications? Sometimes the notification says you've been invited to.
Yeah. I can see it on my colleague's computer that she has actually made me an admin.
So what she needs to do is she needs to remove that and she needs to redo it.
But the problem is she didn't set the page up. She's an admin. Somebody else did. No, I think that they haven't set it up correctly.
It shouldn't make any difference because they're asking you to be an admin and an admin has full access.
Yep.
So if she just goes in and cancels that request, she can go in and say remove because she's an admin and she can do it.
But she's done it a couple of times and it still doesn't give me doesn't send me an alert that I need to go and accept it.
That's really bizarre. I've never had that before.
I'll send you by email a screenshot.
Yeah, absolutely. Send it to me. I'd be happy to work through it with you and get you to help it out because it's unusual. So it sounds like there's something that's not right there.
Yes.
And it might just be that I can have a quick look in the back end as well and see what's going on.
Thank you very much.
That's not an issue. So we found Wix to be a really easy and fun website builder. Absolutely. Wix is great. Just be mindful to use dogs who look happy on the photo though. Absolutely. You want to make sure that your content is actually something that people want to see as well. So I am now going to share my screen with you guys, hopefully share the right screen. So I do that quite often. And you should be seeing my Canva now. Are you seeing my Canva account? Excellent. I've done well. I haven't cut any of you off and I've shared the right screen. So we're having a good day. So we are inside my Canva account and you can see that up in the top right-hand corner is my Altitude Business Solutions logo. So that's how I know we are inside my account. So for those of you that are new to Canva, there is a vertical menu over to the left-hand side. And then there's a horizontal menu sort of in the middle of the different types of content as well. So you can see we're just on the home screen at the moment. So the first horizontal row that you see is actually giving us some, do you want to make an Instagram post, a Facebook story? When it comes to, a lot of people ask me this question, when it comes to making content, what size can I use? If you're using the 1-to-1 ratio, you can pretty much put it on any platform. So that is the Instagram story sizing. You can use that content across any platform. But if you are using the Facebook post and you want to then post it across to Instagram, if you don't have a paid Canva account and you can resize really easy, if you post over to Instagram, it will cut off the sides. So you can still do a Facebook post, but just be mindful of the fact to keep everything in the middle so that when it does cut the sides off and turn it back into a square again, because a Facebook post is sort of a rectangle, and on Instagram it will make it a square. So just be mindful that it'll cut off those sides, and you really don't have to recreate the wheel then. You can actually just use the one lot of content. So that makes it really easy. Another thing that, sorry, I'm just hidden that chat on myself. There we go. I want to make sure I keep that chat on my screen. So the first thing that we're going to do, and obviously I'm talking to you today about a paid account and free account. So I'm doing both. I'm going to show you a bit of an example. So with a free account, you do have the option to be able to have one folder. Now, folders are these things that you can see on the left-hand side underneath where it says purchased. You'll notice that I've got Altitude Business Solution, ASBAS, BYCC. These are all my folders. So if you essentially think like it's like a folder on your computer where you put things. So on the front page, you have the opportunity to look at all of your designs that you've ever made on Canva, but you can also then put those into folders. So if you just want to look at the stuff that I've made for Altitude Business Solutions, I can click in that folder and I can see all of that. So it makes it really easy to be able to go in and do things. We have a folder of templates. So if we make a template, we stick it in that folder so that we can go back and find it and use it easily. Now, because we have a paid account, we have unlimited folders. So we have folders for every single client that we're working with. We have an old clients folder for old clients that we've worked with. We don't have to worry about getting to a limit with our folders because we have the paid account. With the free version, you get one folder. So you need to use it wisely and you know exactly what you want to put in it. But if you're on the paid version, what I would be doing is I would be going straight to where it says all your folders. I'm going to click on that now. It's going to take me to all my folders, and I'm actually going to create a new folder. This is exactly how I would set it up, and I am going to call it social media. Obviously on the paid account, there's all these advanced features we can share with other team members and they can edit it as well, and that's all great, but I'm keeping it simple for you today, and we're just going to say I'm creating a folder called social media. And it's going to take me into that folder, which of course is empty because there's nothing in there at the moment. So it is asking me, you see, it gives you all these prompts, which is great. So create shortcuts, find the things that you care about faster, add and remove folders from the sidebar using the star. So the sidebar is the thing that we just looked at over to the left-hand side. So these are all of my folders. That's known as the sidebar. Now, we have a lot more folders than this. These are just the ones that we are working with at the moment. So we've made them something that becomes part of the sidebar. So if I want to make this one part of the sidebar, I can just star it and that's it. You'll notice there it is, pops up at the bottom, social media. So it's now really easily accessible. Now from here, what I would do, if you have the paid account, I would be creating subfolders. And I would be creating subfolders for per month. So obviously I'm going to create this one for November 2020. And straight away in my social media folder, there is now a subfolder called November 2020. Now this comes in really handy when you get 12 months down the track, because you'll be able to go back to November 2020 when you're at November 2021 and see whether any of this content can be reused or not. see whether you can repurpose it and reuse it. And it also keeps track of exactly what you've posted by month. So if you think, oh, I want to have a talk about this, when was the last time that I spoke about this? You can go into these folders and have a look. So that would be how I would set it up, just to make it easier for you to be able to access. And obviously, if I click into that November folder, it is empty. There is nothing in there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move straight into our plan. So our plan is 12 posts, okay? And our 12 posts are going to be Monday motivation, Wednesday business, and Friday funny. So I'm going to say create a design up in the top right-hand corner. And I'm just going to start with a Facebook post because that's where we mainly advertise. And I'm going to kill two birds with one stone and actually create my content for the next month with you so that you can see. So it is going to bring up Facebook sized post. I'm going to resize that in a second for you because it's a little bit big for me to work with. So I'm just going to make it 75%. So there we go. That's better. I feel like it's not so much in my face now. So straight away from here, this is a post. Up the top, you'll notice next to the share button, it's saying Untitled Design Facebook Post. Now, this essentially is going to be your file name. So if you are on the free version, you will have to download your images to upload them to Facebook. So you want to make sure that your file name is something that you actually recognize. So I can see if a number of folders, it means that's correct. I have a number of folders because I have a paid account. That's correct. Yeah. So if you have the free account, you can only have one. But if you have the paid version, you can have multiple. It's great. So then from here, my file name, because we deal with lots of different clients, I always make it the name of the business, but have some consistency with your file name. So I'm going to call it ABS. Oh, that's not where I want to put that. Up here. ABS, which stands for Altitude Business Solutions. I always put a dash. And then I'm going to call this one Motivation 1. So when I download these, if I'm using the free version, because the free version you can't post directly to Facebook, with the paid version you can, and I'm going to show you that very quickly. You need to call them things that because I would create my images and download them all, and then I would go and upload them to Facebook if I was doing it. So you want to call them Motivation 1. Essentially, we're after 4 motivational posts because we're going to do 1 a week. So I'm not an Eat the Frog kind of person. Has anybody read the book Eat the Frog? It talks about doing the hardest thing first. It's probably a good thing to do. I don't eat the frog. I leave the frog until 4 to 5 on a Friday afternoon, and then I'll do it. But I've started out with the easiest post. So easiest post would be, the motivation, to get the motivational post. So that's where I'm going to start. So I've called it ABS Motivation 1. That's going to give me a good identifier. Over in the search templates, for the templates that are over to the side, because remember, I'm not creative. I'm just going to search motivation.
Kerry, just a quick question. So if you've got a Facebook business page, I've actually got a sassy woman where I'm doing fashion stuff for pleasure, but you can invite friends to like your business page, and not everybody will respond, but how do you get your business page liked by other people who aren't your friends? So
what's really interesting is that Facebook is moving away from likes.
Yes.
So just because you only have a very few amounts of likes doesn't mean that your page is not being seen by more people. There are plenty of pages out there who only have 150 likes that are being seen by over 2,000 people. So it's not always the be all and end all. But yes, pushing it out to your friends if you're wanting to get that reach is a way. And don't be afraid to do that. This is your business. Be strong and proud about it and get it out there. Make sure everybody knows what it is that you do, because nothing hurts more than the pain of hearing one of your really good friends is paying someone else for a service that you do because you didn't tell them about it. You're like, damn it, I missed that one. We tend to blame the person. We tend to go, I can't understand why they didn't use me. But if you're not putting it out there and you're not telling them, then that's probably the reason why. But yeah, pushing it out, you can actually boost to get likes on Facebook. There is a boost option to get likes in your page. You just need to go into your ad center or your creator studio to do that, and see the option for that there. But likes are not so much important now. Honestly, it's not something that we focus on with our clients anymore, because we know that Facebook is going to take it away. It's not going to be there for much longer. They've already changed the algorithm now. So, you know, it's harder to get likes because it's not about that. For them, it's about people and pages that interact and are being social. So I can see another comment in here as well. I did post from free from Canva to Facebook. Oh, good. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was only a paid version that you could post directly to Facebook from Canva. But if it's on the free version, it never used to be. So when it first came out, if you can post directly to Facebook on the free version, I'm a very happy girl. So getting back to my design, so I've just typed in motivation, and you can see over to the side, there is all this different content. There's motivational posts. There is all sorts of things. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I can just use somebody else's stuff. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick something. Now, keep in mind, at this stage, I don't look at coloring. Obviously, if you're a business, branding is very important. Having a logo is very important. Having branding colors is very important. But when I'm just at this stage, I am just looking for a post that I can use. So let's take this. This is really, really basic. I'm going to take this one here. Creativity is intelligence, having fun, Albert Einstein. I don't even need to change that. I think that quote is amazing on its own, so I don't need to change it. I am going to edit it a little bit though. So I'm going to move things around. First of all, I want to be able to add my logo. So I'm just going to move everything up a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my mouse and I'm clicking on the top corner and dragging over so that I can move everything all at once. So you see that? The whole lot's moving. Rather than it just being one section at a time. I've actually sort of clicked on my mouse, held it over the top, Canvas selected it and allows me to move it up and down wherever I want to move it. As I move it across, you'll notice that little purple lines and stuff start coming up. Can you see that purple line? So if the purple line comes up, that's telling me that I'm centered and I'm in the centered. And same if I start going down, another purple line will come up telling me I'm exactly in the middle. I don't want this to be in the middle because I'm going to put a logo at the bottom. So I want it to be closer to the top. So I'm going to move it up to the top, but I do want it centered sort of horizontally so it looks good. And then you've moved that up. So you've got a bit of a space. So now I'm going to add in my logo. So in the paid version of Canva, you can actually upload your brand center and your logos. So that comes in really handy. If I just go over to my vertical menu on the left-hand side, one of the options is folders. Now it does bring up any folder that I've created. Now remember I was saying to you earlier that we have a template folder. So this is where if I was using one of my templates, I can actually go in and it's going to bring up very slowly all of the templates that I have. So I could select to use one of those templates if I wanted to. But in the case of this one, I'm actually just looking for my logo. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to find my logos folder. Now in your logos folder, I want you to, if you do have the paid version or the pro version, you can save lots of different versions of your logo. You can see that I've got lots of different colors, but I've also put in my profile picture because quite often that is something that I will use if I'm doing a slideshow presentation. So it's easy just to have it in that logo folder for me. So obviously in the case of this design, I'm going to use the white option for our logo and I'm just going to click on it. It's going to put it straight into my design and I'm going to resize it and I'm just going to stick it at the bottom. Make sure it's in the middle. There we go. I might even just move this up just a little bit more so it's not so close and make my logo a little bit bigger. So with Canva, everything is very much like when you're in Word or a lot of other programs, you can click on things, you can resize it by simply dragging the corner and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's all very, it's what we're used to doing in a lot of other programs, to click on it, to move it, to drag it, that kind of thing. So did anybody have any questions on that? You sort of all over that? Yep.
So Kerry, I tried to create an email signature using my logo business card.
Yep.
And then I've actually got 3 words which are in particular colours. So when I used the free version, I copied the words, but it didn't copy across the colours. And then I couldn't find a text box either. So if I wanted to, yeah.
So what you do there, if you've copied and pasted words across, it doesn't copy the colour. So you do have to change it. So all you would do, for example, if I was looking at changing this one word, creativity, I've highlighted it. And then you'll notice there is a little toolbar that comes up above the top here now. And one of the selections has a little A with a multicolored line underneath it. So if I click on that, it's going to bring up color options for me. So then I could say, I want to change that wording to that color. And it would change that color. Is that what you're meaning?
Yes. Well, yeah, because I have each of my 3 words have different colors.
Different colors, yeah.
So that's part of my branding, obviously. But I couldn't find it.
There is another. Do you know the hex codes of those colors?
Yes, I've got yes, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So if you know the hex codes, what you can do there is you go to colouring, and you can say up here, you can put in your hex code where it says the little search bar at the top.
Yeah. Okay.
You can put it. So if your colour was pink and you want it to be the exact colour pink that's in your logo, you could put that hex code into that search field and it would give you the exact pink. So it all matches.
Yeah, I'll have to go back to the graphic designer. I think he gave me the CYMK.
Yeah, which a lot of them do. So you will need the hex code for Canva. Graphic designers love to use the other ones and not give the hex codes over. But another way you can find the hex codes, there is a little tip for you. There is a website called Color Picker. Write that one down. A website called Color Picker, and you can upload any photo and click on the color on the picture, and it will pick out and tell you exactly what the hex code is. And I use that all the time. I have worked with a lot of clients who say, here's my logo that was built in 1993. I have no idea what the color is. So I just upload it into Color Picker and then click on the area, and it tells me exactly what the hex code is. And
yes, one of my other friends suggested you can put it into Paint, but you get the RGB color. So
yes, yeah. So Color Picker gives you all of the codes. So it gives you the hex codes and all the other ones as well. So if you're dealing with a graphic designer who says to you, I need something in a particular code, that's another way that you can actually get it as well. So it's quite handy.
Sorry.
It's okay. Did you have another question on that?
I do. I couldn't find a text box in Canva.
As in to actually put text in, you mean? Oh, she's getting rid of Puppy. While she's getting rid of Puppy, I'll just very quickly show you. I want to change the colour of this background. And I'm just going to show you that if I click on that background straight away, in the left-hand side above the image, it comes up with another color background. If I click on that little square, it gives me my color options. So from there, I can actually change the color of the background as well. And straight away now, it's looking like Altitude Business Solutions. So sorry, Jeanette, you were saying a text button is to insert text?
Yes. So, for example, if I wanted to create, and then I ended up doing it in Word using tables to get something that I was least comfortable with. I wanted to create the email signature with my logo and then with the words, and then also put my contact details in a text. But I couldn't find a text box thing.
In your vertical menu over to the left-hand side, you'll notice you've got templates, uploads, photos, elements, and text. If you click on that, it's going to give you a few things. First of all, it's going to give you a whole heap of templated text. A lot of people use the templated text when it comes to email signatures because they like their name to actually look like a signature, so it'd have a picture of you and then they would pick this one and then put their name in that signature. Or you can just click add a heading, add a subheading, add a bit of body. If you're wanting the keyboard shortcut, I'll give you a keyboard shortcut. You just press the letter T and see straight away it's put text into my image there. If I take that away, press the letter T again. Get out of it. There we go. Press the letter T, straight away it brings up text. So that's a little keyboard. I'm big on keyboard shortcuts because I learnt computers before they had mouses. So they weren't actually using them. So, and with this text, you can change the size of it. You can change the font of it if you're not happy with that font. I'll just get rid of that black text and I'll show you if I select this white text. If you have branding font that you use, it's really clever to keep the consistency, because remember, brand is more than just about your logo. Brand is about keeping that consistency. So if I highlight all of that wording and I go into up the top again, next to in our toolbar that's up the top, it's asking for the font. You'll notice a little bit further down with the Pro version, I actually have my brand fonts already in there. So these are the brand fonts that I use. And for this one, I might say go the classic, and see how it totally changes it, because it's different wording. So there's a few things that I need to do. Firstly, I probably need to resize it a little bit to make that wording fit in. There we go. But this is the branding that we use. This is the font that we use all the time. So it's getting that consistency through all of your branding, because a lot of people think branding is just about the logo and the colors, and it's not. It's about the font and the feel as well. So it's really important to do that. So yeah, any more questions on that, or we're all pretty good with that? This vertical menu comes in handy. There's lots of different things. I will go and show you how to do some elements and photos and stuff on another one, but I'll just stick with this one for now. And obviously I'm looking at doing my posts for November. So if you've just seen that the free version is actually allowing you to post directly to Facebook, which is amazing. That's great if that's what can happen. In the Pro version, obviously we can publish directly to Facebook. So if I now go up to that top corner, I've made this one, under normal circumstances, that would take me about 2 minutes. And then I would go publish to Facebook. And it's going to come up asking me what page do I want to choose. Now, we look after a lot of different pages. I've only got 2 of them in Canva, but see how I can choose another page? I could add all of my pages if I wanted to. But in the case of Canva, these are the 2 accounts that we mainly post to using Canva. So I'm going to select the Altitude Business Solutions, and then it's going to ask me to write something. Now, when it comes to motivational posts, you don't always have to write text. Because they're pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm actually not going to put any text in. I'm just going to say that this is going to post. And then you can actually say publish now if you're wanting to publish it straight away. But in the case of this example, we're wanting to plan for the future. So I'm going to say schedule to post later. So as I click on that, very simply a calendar comes up. I'm going to go into November. I'm going to go to Monday the 2nd. And I know that the majority of, when it comes to motivational posts, most people expect them Monday morning. I don't think, or of a morning, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. I don't think there's any use doing a motivational post at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I would be doing this one in the morning, and I'm going to pick 7. I'm going to leave it at 26. I'm going to put AM. So that's going to automatically schedule into post at 7:26 AM on November 2nd. And I put done, and straight away it gives me the date and the time there again. And then I'm going to say schedule post. So if we schedule the post in,
So, Kerry, can I just ask a question?
Yes,
so
go for it.
If you've got that, it'll be in Australian time?
It'll be in your time zone, yes. It'll be in your time zone.
Right. And I also wanted to ask a question. So would you go in with this Motivational Monday one and then do the 4 in this one template? No, That's how I got into trouble with my saving, because I wanted to just pick out one and save it. And then for some reason I removed all the other ones and then I lost them all.
Yeah. So the reason why I don't is because when you go to share them via the share direct to Facebook, it doesn't give you the option to only share one at a time. So if I
right.
create multiple pages and then I go share to Facebook, it's going to want to share the whole 4 posts on that one day. You can't
Right.
say, I want page 1 to go on this Monday and page 2 to go on that Monday. It only lets you post. So that's why I do them one at a time like I do. And I found those folders really handy to being able to look back.
Right.
That was just a really much easier way of being able to set it up.
Okay.
So, you know, keeping in mind that once you get the hang of using Canva, this is very quick. So to go in and create motivational posts is very easy. That's why I always start from there. But yeah, if you're going to post directly to Facebook, you need to do them one at a time. If you are downloading them to post yourself, you can have them all in the one. But so what you're
Right.
saying is that you created them one after the other and then you were just wanting to use one of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually a Facebook post, it was other material, but I
Sure.
just, I had
So were you
previous.
trying to download it?
Um,
What were you trying to do?
I think I would, no, not even download it at that stage. I was just trying to create and name it like you would in a Word document, name it a new file so that I
Yes.
might have had business card final, whereas I
Yes.
had all these pages and I was looking to pick out the best. But then for some reason it didn't save all of them. I lost all of them and it just saved
So
the
when you
one.
lose them, it's because of, obviously Canva works with the internet. If you have a break in the internet, if there's an internet issue and you close out of Canva. So what you really need to do is when you're in your designs, I'll show you in
Yes.
just a few minutes because I'm going to go
Yes.
into another design and I'll show you. You need to make
Okay.
sure before you close out of your designs that it has saved, because if you have a break in internet connection and you close out, the next time you go back in, what you have created is not going to be there. And it
Right.
sounds to me like that's what happens. And I'll show you that with the next design. Thanks for bringing that up for me.
Okay.
So I posted that. That's actually now gone directly to Facebook. And the reason why, how I can actually tell is I've gone back to the home screen. And then over to the left-hand side, you'll notice that one of the options, it's about the 4th one down, is Content Planner. If I click on Content Planner, it brings up my calendar. And if I click over to November, you'll notice here, it's telling me that there's that creativity is intelligence, having fun. It's already been scheduled to Facebook at 7:26 a.m. So see how this calendar in Facebook becomes very visual for you as well?
It's
Yeah.
cool. So
And
cool.
yeah, it makes it really, really quick and easy to be able to see where you're at. You know, you can see, yes, it's definitely posted. I've done the right thing. And you can go from there. It also allows, it's interactive. So you can go to the next one and you can see how it's got the plus button. And I've clicked on that and it's saying, what do you want to do? Well, we want to do our next Monday motivational post. So we want to create a design and we want it to be a Facebook post. You see how quick and easy this is? And this is why I love the calendar option. It's just such a great idea. My internet is a little bit slow. I do apologize. So it's going to upload that size again. I'm going to type in motivation. Now there's a new, I want to show you a feature about actually searching. So yes, so the planner will actually be for a paid version. That's right. You need to have the pro version to be able to see the planner. And that's why I know a lot of you are working on the free version, and I want to show you snippets of these, what you can do with the pro version, because for $13.99 a month, I'm sure you're going to decide that, hey, that's worth it. What I'm going to do with this post now is it's going to go directly to the calendar, and then the following post after that, I'll show you what you have to do on the free version to actually, yeah, to get it down and get it up so you can see. I know a lot you'll be doing that if you're uploading it to Facebook. I might be able to show you through Facebook. I think that's the best way I'll do that. So I'll come back to that for you as well. So in the search bar at the top, I've typed in motivation again in the top left-hand corner. So we've got our motivational post. At the very end, it has a filter option. So that's these lines with the little circles on it. If I click on that, it's going to give me filter options. So I can filter by color. This comes in really handy if there's a lot of posts. Motivation, there's not a lot there, but if there's A lot of motivational posts you can pick by color if you're wanting to make things really, really quick. So if I pick the blue, for example, and say apply filters, it is going to, well, it's going to say, sorry, we don't have any templates in that color. Of course, I'd pick a color that they don't have any of. Here we go. No, none again. I'm not having any success at all. I'm going to be picking all colors that they don't have. So let's just clear all. So yes, you can use the filter section to actually filter by color, but as we saw there, when you're looking for motivation, you've already filtered down one. And then when you go to filter again, sometimes there's not things available in those colors. So that's why I don't filter down too much. I just look at what's available because I know I can always change any of it. So if I come down again, let's pick the next one because we're going into our next one. And if I go this one here, this one says unexpected kindness is the most powerful, least costly and most underrated agent of human change. That's a good one. I'm not even going to change that. Yes, I could make them all business related, but I don't really want to. I want to make them things that people can relate to. So I'm going to move that up again, just like we did last time. I'm going to go to my folders into the left-hand side. I'm going to go to my logos and I'm going to add a logo to it. And I'm going to resize that logo. See, I'm keeping the consistency. I'm keeping that same design. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and move it up a little bit. I'm going to put my logo in there. I'm going to keep with my brand consistency and I'm going to change this wording to be our brand font. I'm going to resize that a little bit so that it doesn't cover the person's name. And I'm going to make sure that it's centered because I like things to be centered. And again, with the background, I can change this background. I can go to elements. I'll show you how to use the element tab. So the element tab's the fourth one down. You'll notice it gives you lots of different options here for your elements. And you can add things in. So if I add an element in, I'm going to search for human. Probably not going to look great, but I'm just going to show you. I'll grab this one. So I've just searched for human and it's given me anything that looks like a person. And I'm going to add in this little element here, which kind of looks like a bit of a flying person. So I might put that up in that top corner. Can't see it very well because it's a dark color at the moment. So I'm going to change it to white and have that there. It's just another element. If you want to change the background on your vertical menu, you go down and you see background and it's going to give you background options. So you'll notice at the top, recently used, this comes in really handy. Our business is called Altitude Business Solutions. So we like to have a lot of subliminal backgrounds. So we'll put things in so that people can get that subliminal message. I'm just trying to drag across. Sorry, my internet is being extremely slow at the moment. It's not going to transfer across. Let's see if I just click on it. There we go. So you can drag it across or you can click on it. Click on it is working much more successfully for me now. But as you can see, as I've changed that background, see how the wording doesn't stand out as much? And you need to keep in mind that people are looking at this on their mobile phone the majority of the time. So they need to be able to see the wording. You could change the color of the wording if you wanted to, or you could simply change the color of the background. If you don't like that background, there's always the oops, I made a mistake, let's go back button, which is up in the left-hand corner. It is the fourth little button in and it's an arrow, like a return arrow. If I click on that, it's going to take that away. So it's very similar to programs like Word that we're used to using where you can't really make a mistake. You can actually just go back. So if I, again, and click and delete anything, if I don't like that little element in the top corner, I can simply delete it out. So I need to pick an image that's probably a little bit darker. So that's quite striking. This is another thing that I can show you as well. So that background is really good. But when you look at it now, see how the background is really, the background's probably standing out more than the words. And for me, from a design perspective, that probably defeats the purpose of a motivational quote. So if I click on that background, up in the top right-hand corner, you have a series of tools as well. And you'll notice that one that looks like a little checker plate, and it's called transparency. So if I click on that button, you'll notice it's set at 100 at the moment. I can actually drag that scale down and I can make that background. Oh, sorry, I haven't clicked on the background. Let me just click on the background. So you need to click on the background first before doing this and change that transparency and see how the transparency of the background is changing. But there's a fine line, because if I go too far, it sort of cancels everything out. So you can soften that transparency a little bit, so you can make it not so bright. So there it is at full color, but it's really taking away from the wording. And I just wanted to change it a little bit so you can just sort of tone it down a little bit. Another thing that you can do is, another option for you is click on the background and you can go up to the effects, which is next to the coloring. And you can give it some effects. Sorry, filter is the one that I'm looking for. No, adjust. That's the third time lucky. So you can go to the adjust file and you can blur the background a little bit. So see how, as I'm moving along, see how it's blurring the colors? It's now making it not look like a picture, it's just making it look like a color. Or you can blur it out a little bit. I tend to find like about a 3 or a 4, which can be hard to get with the slide. But if you click on the little box next to it and you type in 4, it blurs it to a 4. So I normally find that's good. Like you can see in the background that that is a mountain, but it's now not taking away from the words. The words stand out a lot more. Another effect that's good if you're having trouble with your words standing out is to highlight them and then go into the effects button, which is right above. And you can click this little lift, which is the third one across, and it lifts the words and it just makes them stand out a little bit more. So again, that's just another a little tip. So straight away, we've done our second post. Now I'm going to move through the next 25 minutes quickly because we've only got 25 minutes left and I want to make sure that we get our whole 12 posts in. So this is going to really test me to see how fast we can do this now. So we now have our second scheduled post and I'm happy with that. So I'm now going to say schedule. You can see straight away it's already brought up the time. So up there it's saying it's 12:31 p.m. If I want to change the date and time, because I don't really like 12:31 p.m, that's sort of not going to work for me. I'm going to change that. It's going to go into it. I can change the date if I want to, but I don't want to. I want to leave it the 9th. And I want to say 7:31 a.m. is perfect for me. I'm going to select done. Choose a destination. It's going to Altitude Business Solutions and I'm keeping it simple again. It's motivation. I don't need to have any more words. I'm just going to leave it at that. Schedule post.
So Kerry, you have to get the paid version in order to schedule your content.
So my understanding is that you can, somebody said before that you can schedule straight to Facebook. From the paid version. I thought, sorry, from the free version, I thought it was only a paid option. You might be able to, from the free version, I thought that you could post straight to Facebook, but you couldn't schedule the time. Like you could post right now, but you couldn't schedule the time. So you can make it and you can post it directly to Facebook right then and there, but you can't schedule it in. To have the scheduling feature, you need to have the paid version. But this saves you so much time. There are programs out there like Later that will do the scheduling for you free, and you can have a free account to do that. But you've got to download and upload and download and upload. Like the time that you save doing that just by simply being able to go, like I haven't had to download an image onto my computer yet. And I've scheduled 2 things to Facebook. And for me, that's worth the $13.99 a month.
Yes, it is. That
you pay. Absolutely. And we always recommend. If posting to Insta, would the hashtag go in the word box? in the word box. Yes, your hashtags would go in there, absolutely. When it comes to hashtags on Facebook, 3 maximum. Facebook is moving towards hashtags, so get ready for that.
And I guess you could use the same principles to post to your LinkedIn business page as well, or you could even do it in your LinkedIn profile, obviously, as well. So
that's
it's
right,
probably better to do it that way if you've got, say, because I've got 2,000 connections on LinkedIn. So
yeah. So I'm going to show you with this next one now that I'm going to do. I'm just going to go, so that one's scheduled in, so that's great. I'm going to go back to the home screen. Oh, I did make a mistake there, but that's okay. I forgot to change the file name. See, even somebody who does it all the time makes mistakes.
And Kerry, can you show us how, if you were, say, wanting to then resize that for LinkedIn, how would you do that?
Yeah, sure. I can actually, I'll go into this first one that we did, the motivation one. If you have a paid version of Canva, you can resize any image.
Oh, and it'll bring it up, will it?
Yeah, so up in the left-hand corner, you've got home file and then you've got resize.
Yes.
So this is giving me a warning. It's saying editing this design will pause the scheduled post. So I'm just going to quickly make a copy, sorry, to make it easier so that I don't change that. And then up in that top left-hand corner, home, file, and resize. So you click on the resize.
One hint that I got from doing the LinkedIn, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile and all that sort of stuff was, that was from Kay. She suggested changing the background heading for your LinkedIn at the top, and she does that, like, so it does motivational ones, or so she changes it on a month.
In the cover photo. Yeah, that's a really good idea, because it does attract attention of people, absolutely. So when you go into resize, you'll notice it comes up with a whole heap of sizes. You can search LinkedIn.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
It comes up saying, do you want a banner? You know, what do you want? Do you want a story? Do you want a video? You can say Instagram.
Yeah, that's the beauty about Canva. It's just got it.
And you can say, yes, I want it to be Instagram post. So you can click that.
Yes.
And then it also gives you the option to say, do you want to simply resize this one, or do you want to make another copy and resize?
Right.
So then you could have your LinkedIn copy and your Facebook copy, or as well. So you've got the two of them there. It's that simple.
Great.
And it resizes it. So if I was going to resize this to an Instagram post, I'm going to say copy and resize, and it will resize it, make a new version of it for me. And there we go. I don't need to make any changes. It's just resized it. Sometimes what happens is it makes the wording, depending on what design you're doing, the wording can be a little bit too small, and you have to sort of resize the wording to make it bigger. But in the case of this example, it's done really well, so I don't have to change anything.
Great, thank you.
So another question there, is the cost tax deductible for marketing? Yes, if you have a business. If you have a business and you're using Canva for your business, it is a tax deduction, absolutely. So it's a great investment, I would say. Yes,
because we have to use our ABN number to register for these ASBAS workshops.
Yes. So yeah, everything is a tax deduction. So lots of different sizing there available. Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm going to go into my next one, and I'm going to download this one because I want to show you, you know, with the free version, how you can just download the image and then upload it into Facebook as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a design, and I'm going to make it a Facebook post. Facebook post. And then I'm going to do the same thing, motivation. So it's just about getting into a routine, and then you can sort of get this done really, really quickly. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick my design. This one looks good. I'm a big believer in this one myself. All progress takes place outside the comfort zone.
That's cool.
That's fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sorry, I've clicked on that background. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to highlight this wording because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm changing to my brand font. I'm going to change this one. I didn't change the little names to my brand font in the last one because they weren't as, this one was quite, it stands out a lot. So I just want to make sure that it's all the same. I'm going to move that wording up a little bit. I'm going to move this up a bit. I'm going to add in my logo, go to my folders, go to logos, add in the white one again, drag the corners to make it smaller. And just because this design is not actually, oh, I don't want that to happen. There we go. So you can use your keyboard to move your pictures around as well. At the moment, I'm pressing the Shift key. So I've clicked on the logo and I'm pressing the Shift key and I'm using my arrows to go left from right. You know, sometimes when you're dragging a picture in Canva, you want it to be in a certain spot and it's just like, you drag it a little bit and it goes too far and then you drag it that way. This is where you use your keyboard shortcuts as such. You click on the image, hold your Shift key down and you can use your arrows and that actually moves it only 1 pixel at a time so that it can stop that. We've zoomed in enough to make it nice and easy, but if you have if you're making a leaflet or a newsletter, you can find it really quickly. You're there and then all of a sudden you're there. It makes a big difference. So being able to do this is great. So I'm going to move that across. That looks good. Again, colouring in the background, I want it to be a little bit more branded. So if I click on the blue colour there, there's 2 backgrounds there. I'm going to delete that second background out. I'm going to get this colour. Now here's a really good example. So there was 2 backgrounds there. So one was a light coloured background and one was a dark coloured background. So if I now click on that background colour and I go to those little, I don't know what to call them, racing squares where the transparency is, I can bring that all the way back up to my branding colour, or I can make it less. So I'm bringing that all the way back up to my branding colour. And then from there, so we've got the free version and I want to schedule it in. It's my understanding that you can't schedule it in on the free version. So I'm going to have to download this image, and that's why the name of your actual, whatever you're making is really important. So I'm going to call this I'm going to call this ABS Motivation number 3, because it's the 3rd one that we're doing. And then instead of publishing to Facebook, because I'm not going to do that, I'm going to click on the 3 little dots that are next to that button and I'm going to say download. I want it to be the PNG because that's the highest quality that I'm going to get. But if you are downloading an image to upload to a website, if you can get away with it being a JPEG, that is what I suggest. JPEG is a little bit smaller and won't take up as much room on your website, which means it won't take as long to load. That can really affect your load speed when you have a photo on there or a picture on there that's really high. So I'm going to click on that and you can see it comes up saying, what do you want it to be? Well, we want it to be a PNG high quality image. It's saying here, it's saying, you know, save time, schedule it directly to your platform now with the schedule now. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to download because we're pretending we have that free version. And then I'm going to open up my Facebook, which could be scary because who knows what's going to be on that when I go live into it. So the design has already been downloaded. I don't know if you can see on my screen, it might be very small for you. In the bottom right-hand corner, I can see that that design has fully downloaded. So it's saying, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to, if you say continue editing, it just keeps you on this page. Otherwise, you can say return to the home screen and it takes you to the home screen. But in Facebook, I'm going to head on over to Facebook and I'm going to go over to my Altitude Business Solutions page. Who likes the new Facebook? Oh, everyone jumped for joy then. It takes a little bit of getting used to, absolutely. And this is probably an area that I just wanted to really quickly show you. No, yeah, a few people don't like the new Facebook. Once you get to use it though, it is really good. So what I like about it is that from this, I'm now on my business page. This is my Altitude Business Solutions page. See how I can see notifications, which is on the vertical menu down the side. It allows me to just go in and see the notifications for my business page, as opposed to seeing the notifications for my business and personal. So you can click on that and you can just go in and see all of your notifications that you might need to deal with. Now, a lot of these are going to be, we follow a lot of businesses. So a lot of them are going to be business pages that have done things, but it also shows me when, you know, people have actually liked things, liked events or like, so then I can go in and I can be interactive. So it's a really good, I find a lot easier to use from being interactive with your clientele. And then you come down to publishing tools. This is what I want to show you with the new Facebook, because it is different. So when you go down to publishing tools, and have any of you done this at any stage on Facebook yet? Some of you have, some of you haven't.
I'm doing fashion blogging sort of on it's one of my passions. So I've been posting to my Instagram, and then obviously, so I do me in outfits, or I see outfits that I like. So then I take a photo, or someone who's an older woman, so I'm concentrating on older women. So then I actually then take a photo of Insta, and then it automatically posts to my
across. So you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it does make it a little bit easier. But I thought it was just an opportunity for me to show you guys also the new Facebook and the best way to do it. So you can create a post directly from here, and you can add it in. You'll notice over to the left-hand side, published post is where we are at the moment, but underneath that is scheduled posts. And it'll say, so it's telling me I don't have any scheduled posts, and that's because I've scheduled them all through Canva. So it doesn't interact, Canva doesn't interact with Facebook scheduling, so that you can't see that it's coming up. But if you're just going to be uploading it, you can just say from here, create a post. And then, yes, we see how now it's this is only relatively new. See how it's giving you the option to do Altitude Business Solutions on both Facebook and Instagram. So you can do the both. You've always been able to do from Instagram to Facebook.
Oh, but now you can
haven't always been able to do from Facebook to Instagram. So now it's got that other option. So I'm just going to say straight to Facebook. So making them both interactive. As a business owner, some people would spend more time in Instagram than they would in Facebook, or more time in Facebook than Instagram.
Depends on the demographics, because the younger audiences like Insta and older people like Facebook. I
think it's important to also remember, you're exactly right, Jeanette, but that younger demographic grows up to be your customers. So if you're planning on having longevity with your business, you've already been sort of touching base with that younger demographic when they grow up and get their own businesses and decide they need a VA. So they have that familiarity with you. So it is really important. And that's why I said that it's not always that your business, it's the right platform for your business, but it's where some of your clients are definitely going to be. So it's important that you're on there a little bit. So then we just say add a photo, and it's going to very slowly open up. I'm going to quickly go to my downloads, because that's where it is. There it is there. I'm going to open that up. And it is going to load. So you can see how much extra time this is taking. Like having that scheduling option directly through Canva just makes it so easy. It does give you a real preview, which comes in handy for those people who are visual and really want to see. So it shows you what it looks like with no wording. And for me, it doesn't look, to me, it's already words in the post, so I don't feel like I need to put more wording with it. You could push your hashtags in here, particularly if you're sharing directly across to Instagram as well. Put your top 3 or 4 hashtags in there. And then, from there, you can just say publish if you're going to go straight away. But in this case, we're going to schedule. So we're clicking the arrow, we're going to say schedule post. And we're going to say it's going to be November 16. And again, the time, 7:58. I'm going to leave it at 7:58 is fine, AM. Schedule, and then it says schedule post and done. and then it comes up showing you that's in. But see how that takes a little bit of time? Like in Canva, it would have already been done and we'd be moving on to our next design. And we're trying to cut down the time. So we've gone through, we've now done our third motivational post. So now we're going to do our fourth. Sorry, I'm just going to close Facebook off because it's slowing my screen down here. There we go. We're going to create a Facebook post. So there is still, you can still convert back to the old Facebook. There is a way to do it, but I'm not going to tell you all how to do it. I can see some of you saying, oh, we don't have a choice to use the new version. They were taking it away from us, but they've realized there's a lot of glitches. So they have put it there that you can still go back. It's just in a different area. I recommend that you just get to use the new version. That's what I've had to do with my clients, because essentially we use their Facebook pages and teach them how to use it. There was no use me teaching them the old version. So I'm going to type in motivation again. And these motivation posts, they change all the time. Canva is updating them all the time. So the difference between the free and the paid version with Canva is that you have 8,000 templates with the free version, and with the pro version, you have 60,000 templates. So it's crazy. When you search for templates, if you are wanting to make sure that you see as I hover over them, it's coming up saying that they're free. So they're the ones that you'll be able to use on the free version. If you pick one of the ones that doesn't show up as free, you'll get to the end of designing it. It'll say, hey, do you want to pay for this design? And it'll ask to charge you $1 for it or something along those lines. So as you hover over each motivational post, in the bottom right-hand corner, it comes up with a little free saying that that's free. So on the free version, you can use that one. So again, I'm just going to scroll through. I like the way that Canva does this, because most people look at their mobile phones on their, look at their Facebook or their Instagram or LinkedIn. Most of them are on their mobile phones. So essentially this is how big the post is. So see how on some of the wording is not big enough for me? Like if I can't read that wording there, it's not going to show up great on a mobile phone. So that's why I've instinctively gone for these ones with the bigger wordings, because they just stand out more and it's easier for people to read. So if I click on, see, here's another one here. This is a free one that you can use as well. Excellent. So someone's just done a check. Thanks, Noah. I really appreciate that. Checked on the Canva free version, you can select a specific page to post on Facebook and create all of the motivational posts on one page then. Yep, so that's great that you can do that. That's a really good feature that was not part of the free version very long ago. So whether they've pivoted because of COVID and they're trying to sort of draw in a few more clients, but that scheduling was not supposed to be part of the free version. So here's this one here. Obviously the wording's nice and big, but for me, the wording's too close to one side. I know that's an effect that they probably wanted to have, but I don't like it. So I'm going to move it over. I want it to be more in the middle. And then I'm going to move this one up here as well. I'm going to go to my folders. I'm going to go to my logos. I'm going to add in a logo. Again, I'm using the white one because we've been dealing with lots of dark backgrounds. I'm going to offset to the logo a little bit this time because everything's sort of a little bit different on this one. And then I'm going to click on the background. Now this has got two backgrounds on it. So you can change, you can see I don't know if you can see the little dots, but there's little dots and they're changing color. So you can change the little dots, or I can slightly move that over, select my green background, change that to a blue, move my dots back over. And then I might like to change all of these little arrows to white. I actually don't really like that arrow behind the word, so I'm going to delete that one. And I'm going to move this one so that it's sort of not, it can be a line. I'm getting fussy with my design now. There we go. So there's that one there. I'm going to publish it to Facebook. It's going to be the Altitude Business Solutions page. And I'm going to schedule it in on the 23rd. (7:00 a.m. Done. Schedule post. So is that making the process clear, very clear for you guys?
Mm.
You're all very quiet. Do you have anything else that you need to, you've got that down pat?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you see the advantages of having that, being able to schedule? It's great that you can actually schedule on that free version directly to Facebook. So you need to go and do that. Having that content calendar comes in really handy as well. We spend a lot of time in Canva and we spend a lot of time in Facebook. We find the Canva content planner version of scheduling the posts a lot easier to use than the Facebook version. Facebook is making it very difficult now, which is a real shame. So I prefer to use Canva and have that content planner, because then I can go straight into the calendar and I can see how I can see my posts are all there. So that would then come up for the whole month and I would know I've got posts scheduled for Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Now this process under normal circumstances, obviously today we're training and we're answering questions and all that kind of stuff. We would normally spend a maximum of an hour and a half to schedule in our month's worth of content. There are other things that we schedule in. So we schedule, we might share something across if we find some great information. But for us, we know that if we sit down, and I normally do it a lot more in advance, but I haven't today because I wanted to show you how to do it here. But we would normally do a month in advance of what we're scheduling in. So I know that if something happens and I don't post anything on Facebook myself, then I know that it's always going to be scheduled in. So I think the major tips for today are keep it simple and just stick to one platform when you're starting. Sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and write a bit of a plan. Don't, go in and say, well, I'm going to do 4 motivational quotes and I'm going to do 4 business posts and I'm going to do 4 funnies or whatever it's going to be. Searching for content using Google is a great idea as well. So if you're looking for funny pictures or anything like that, the Canva Pro version has so many options. I did one for a client there last week that got a lot of responses, which was just a photo of a lady. I just searched in the photos, I searched for funny faces and it came up saying, and the thing that came to my mind when I saw this lady's face was, I don't need a mood ring, I have a face. So that was the kind of Friday funny that I put up and people were just laughing. They thought it was hilarious. Because how often does someone's face say exactly what they're thinking when they see something? So this scheduling tool is really great to be able to go directly to your social media platforms, and it also makes it nice and easy and nice and quick, and you don't have to leave Canva. You don't have to download anything on your computer and upload and do all of that stuff. You can just sort of do it directly in there, and it's all scheduled in. So I hope that, over the last 2 hours, we've sort of covered a lot. There must be some more questions. Does anybody have any more questions that you'd like to answer before we sort of finish up? No. Gee. So do you think, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and I'm going to Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, I did put it in the, so with your logo, how you have that logo folder, I would just upload our logo in whatever file format we've got just into our normal folder and go and find it, wouldn't I? It doesn't have to be a particular file or anything to add it.
It will probably need to be in a JPEG or a PNG file for you to upload it.
Yep.
And I know that in the free version allows you to have one brand, I think, from memory. So you should be able to upload it. But if you're finding difficulty uploading it to the logo section in the free version, you can just upload it as a photo. And you can upload your logo as a photo.
I see. So in the brand kit folder, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so you can add it to the brand kit photo, or you can just upload it as a standard photo, whatever is going to get you using it the easiest.
Okay, thank you.
That's a really good tip for you as well. And for those of you that have logos with the paid version, and I know that this is not in the free version, but with the paid version, you have the ability to remove backgrounds of photos as well, which is really good. So some people, some of our clients come to us and say, oh, here's this logo, this is the only format that we have it in. And it might be, you know, it's a logo, but it's got an orange background as an example. And because we're trying to add it to photos, you don't always want the orange background. So there is a feature where you can remove the background of a photo, and it will actually just take out the orange and leave the wording there, which is really clever. So we use that quite a bit.
And Kerry, will
yes.
that do it? It'll just take away the background completely. You don't need to worry about rubbers or
there is the option for rubbers to be there. Obviously, it depends on the type of background.
Yes.
If it's a photo background, sometimes it has difficulty deciphering whether it's a background or not, so it will leave it there. And then over to the left-hand side, there is a little eraser, and you can zoom right in and actually erase that little bit out.
Oh, okay.
But if you just have a plain background with wording on it, it doesn't have any issues at any time. So I take a lot of photos of myself. And, you know, upload them. I mean, I've got a green screen, but it doesn't have to be a green screen. You can just stand up against a wall. I can take a photo of myself, upload it into Canva and remove the image so it's just me. And then I can put that on anything. So that's a really clever thing to do. So Rachel's saying, do you do up advertisement? Do you upload the file and then write the wording on? Are you talking about in Facebook, Rachel? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean.
What I was meaning is if I've got an advertisement that I want to do, I found my picture and then I want to put the wording of it, you know, like cost from. So do I upload that file and then that I've created?
Yep.
And then upload it
as in the wording?
So the picture that I found.
Yes. Yep.
And then then I go in and upload it into Canva, and then I can go in and write like the cost, like say from, then put my logo in. Is that how that's done?
Yeah, look, I'll give you a really quick example because this is something that everybody else might be curious about as well. So if I go, I'm just going to create another design and bring that up. So this is what I was talking about when we were just talking about logos earlier. If you're not going to upload your logos into your branding kit, you can upload them just as a photo. So if you go to the second button down to the uploads, you'll notice that a whole heap of images come up. And these images are images that we've actually uploaded for our clients that we're currently working with. So we're currently working with Margaret Keach, who is a state politician or state candidate. So she's one of our clients at the moment. So these are all the photos that we've uploaded. So any images you can upload from here, absolutely. You can add them in. So if I was going to add in one of these photos.
You can only get the branding kit if you do the pro version, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's my understanding. So when we had the free version, because we were on the free version for about 4 years, because there wasn't that much difference between the free and the pro version originally. It was just a graphic design tool. You were limited to the number of files that you could have, but that was it. But then the differences started to become more. So we went to the pro. But with any of these pictures, you can resize them, you can make them bigger or smaller, and you can put them anywhere in your image. It can take up the whole image. So you can sort of make it go all the way across. What I'm going to do for you guys in the email that I send out, which will be a follow-up, and we'll have a copy of this recording in there, I'm going to put a bonus recording in there. The bonus recording is a webinar that we run all the time, which is a free webinar. We were running it right up until sort of the end of this month. It's a recording of that, which shows you a lot of the basics of Canva. So a lot of the creation tools. So all these little things that I'm showing you now are in that. So I'll send that to you as well, so you can watch that. That's got
Thanks, Kerry. I did your MailChimp one, so that was great.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's great. Excellent. So with any of these pictures as well, like this is a really good example because this is sort of a rectangular image, but the picture's actually a lot bigger. If I double click on that picture, it allows me to drag it across so I can see different different parts of the image if I'm wanting to, see different parts of it. And then I just click done and it's done there. So you can upload any image. Is that what you were talking about, Rachel, being able to upload your own images?
Yes, so if I was making a promotional flyer,
Yep.
yeah, and I had found the likes of a cruise ship, a picture of a cruise
Yep.
ship along, then yeah, okay, great.
You can add in that, and Canva has a lot of cruise ships also in their photos as well, so that's another thing that you can do. And I'll just show you really quickly because this is a really good one to be able to show you. So this is essentially a photo of a brochure that Margaret had done. I'm just going to show you that removing the background effect. So if I go into effects and I say background remover and I click on that, it's going to do its little thing. I better do it right while I'm under pressure now, otherwise I'll be upset. There we go. So see how it's left me with Margaret?
Yes.
And remove the background. And her smile is just infectious. So I can add things in and move them to the background, and all of a sudden Margaret's on top of a mountain. Move that over to the side. So that's the kind of clever things that you can do with that background remover. And that's how you see a lot of people who have photos of themselves and they're cut out. I was saying to you earlier, so just stand in front of a plain wall or something along those lines. The only thing I would suggest is Canva's done a really great job with this one, considering Margaret's jacket is white and the background was white. So it's done a really good job of actually picking up the very clean lines and edges. But if you're wearing, under normal circumstances, if you're wearing a green shirt like I am today and you're on a very similar background, it does struggle a little bit to get that clean line. So if you're looking at doing this for yourself, which I highly recommend, people love that personal touch of having photos. If you can bear to take a whole heap of photos of yourself doing what feels like stupid poses, but poses like this or you're looking at something, comes in really handy to add into your marketing. It just looks really clever.
Yeah. People
yeah,
do business with people they like and trust.
Absolutely. You're building that rapport. That's exactly what you want to do. You're building that rapport. So I just thought that was a good opportunity for me to be able to show you that background remover. And the great thing about it is if I just pick up, over in Canva photos, if I say I really liked these two ladies, I should be able to remove the background of those two ladies as well. So it doesn't just have to be about you. This might struggle because of their beautiful curly hair. Let's see. See what happens. But it does normally do a very good job. It's thinking very hard about it, of removing that background. But that's another cool feature as well that you have with the Pro version. I know a lot of people look and they go, oh, there we go. Look, it did a great job. You can see the sky through her hair. I didn't think it was going to be able to do that. But so these are, these are all like Photoshop type features.
Yes.
Wow. So that really does make a big difference. So does that, Rachel, did that answer your question? I think I did. I've gone on a tangent.
That is amazing. I'm just blown away from what I'm seeing. I can't wait to start.
Yeah. I know, and it's all, just think back to old school. Google is your friend. Okay. Yeah. So I'm a really big keyboard shortcut user. And it's probably a reflection of my age because when I first learnt to use computers, it was all keyboard shortcuts. So I get frustrated sometimes when I use programs that I can only use my mouse because I'm used to doing keyboard shortcuts. Canva has so many keyboard shortcuts. So if you're one of those people, just Google Canva keyboard shortcuts. It will take you directly to the page that has all the shortcuts on there showing you, if you press T, that it put text into it. So you don't have to keep touching your mouse all the time. So yeah, just make it user friendly for you, but you can do so much stuff with it. Another really cool thing that people love is videos. And you can do this with the Pro version as well. And I feel like I'm giving Margaret a bit a bit of a promotion, which was not my intention, but obviously she's the latest client that we're working on. And if I go into just this morning, I've created a video, and I just want to show you, this is really cool that you can do.
Well, she's independent.
Yes, she is. She's pink. I like the colour pink. So,
yes, that's right.
I was flattered when she approached us about working together on her marketing. So this is what I've done here. So this is, you can see this is a Facebook story size. And I've gone through and I've done multiple pages. So they're all different pages, and I haven't quite finished it. I've just done the template as such. I've got a few things I need to change. But what I've done is I've actually clicked on the images and I've animated them. Now what that means is, clicking on the images, and then up the top, you have the option to call what's called animate. This is in the pro version. And I've picked to animate each of those pictures, and I've turned it into a video, and I've also added some music to it. So it has a music tab when you have the pro version, so you have access to music, and it also has a video tab, so you can insert videos into all of your images. So I'll just show you really quickly. It's probably not going to give you the sound because I have my headphones in, but I'll just show you what it actually looks like. Let's see if
We can hear the music.
Oh, good. I did share it, so I was hoping that. So yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Gee, that's a clever feature. I only just quickly found out how to do that with Zoom, but that took me probably 20 minutes to make this morning. And people wonder how you do this kind of stuff, and it's all just Canva. And you can download that as a video and upload it, and people just think you're amazing. This is fantastic. And you need to think about what kind of message you're getting across as well. I mean, obviously this is a little bit of a marketing thing, but when it came to Margaret's advertising, I guess we were trying to combat the fact that she's a very effervescent and very, she's just so much energy, but she's a 65-year-old woman, so we needed to show that she's young and she's vibrant and she's ready to go and she's ready to work. So it's important to have the bright pink color and all of those things that we've done. So you need to think about that with your branding as well. Like, what is your branding? I guess, what's the perception that's out there about how things are being perceived? Are you being energetic? Are you showing that it's all about, your clients or your customers or that kind of thing? It's like when you build a website, 12 years ago, your website would say, this is us, we're awesome. This is us, we're awesome. Book us now.
The other thing too is that pink is the breast cancer colour, so it's just another subliminal message.
It is. It is a subliminal message, absolutely. So it's all of these things in the background that people just think branding, they think, oh, that's my logo, I've got my logo, that's all good. But what is your branding and your logo saying about you? Is it saying that you have a lot of energy? Is it saying that you look after your customers? Is it, are you customer focused, or are you focused on yourself? And that can be a really big one as well, because when you're customer focused, and keep this in mind with all of your posts, you will be posting things that are helping your customers with their problems. So Jeanette, the example with you were really good at saying, most people don't like to make phone calls, but I love to make phone calls. That is their problem, is that they're procrastinating because they don't like to make phone calls. So, and, for you, like I said, the real estate industry is perfect, because to be able to say, I love to make phone calls. Are you struggling making phone calls? I just want to have a chat to you about whether I could help you with your services, because I love to make phone calls. There are plenty of people who will jump at that.
Yes. Well, okay. Thanks, Kerry. Because I didn't think about the real estate industry. I was just thinking just SMEs in general.
Yes.
But then real estate, like I know because I went to a Coronas webinar seminar, and they expect their people to make 80 phone calls a day, which is impossible. Like if you want to chat to people and build relationships, 6 to 8 per hour is the most you can do.
Yes. Yeah.
In an hour to build a relationship.
Yeah, and that's probably a really good point that you make about setting your expectations for clients, making sure that they know that, because people think you're a telemarketer, you've got to punch out, 25 calls an hour.
That's
but
not what I'm doing.
You're building relationships on behalf of that person. So, being clear about what that expectation is. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of you on here today, and this has been, one of the bigger workshops that I've done, but is there anybody that has missed out, that has any questions that you want to ask? If you don't ask them now, it's all good. Just send me an email, send me, you'll get a copy of this recording, so you'll have everything that you need. But don't be afraid to contact me and say, hey, can you just tell me how to do this?
Kerry, you know how you said you'd work with a lot of micro startups?
Yes.
Can I send you an email just asking you what you do? Because I'm trying to do everything myself. Obviously, I'm still.
Yeah, of course. We work in a lot of different areas. So we're like the little chameleons. I would say we're constantly changing. At the moment, we've been very big. Obviously, after coronavirus hit, we were doing one-on-one appointments and in-person workshops through ASBAS, and all of that got canned. So we jumped straight into website building. So we've been extremely busy building websites. We've made them really affordable for people, easy to use, and being able to update themselves, which is important. So happy to I'll send you all that information and you can get that. But you'll have that extra Canva webinar. I do recommend you watch that, because that goes back to basics and shows you the basics.
Yeah.
But really the point of this workshop today was to show you just how easy it is to enter in the content that you need and how quickly it can be done. Even if you just started out with 1 post a week, you could sit back and go, great, I've just scheduled in 1 post a week for the next month. It's a start. So don't be overwhelmed by thinking you need to post every day. And it's worth spending a little bit of money to be able to get the extra features with the Canva Pro. And Canva is an Australian company, can I tell you that?
Yes, created
Australian
by
company.
female.
Yes, 2012 won the best workplace in Australia in 2018. Their workplace is phenomenal. It's a 3-level building. They have a restaurant for their staff. They can bring their kids in. It's just amazing. So I'm always really passionate about supporting them, because they do such a great job and they've gone worldwide. So good on them.
And that's a culture that you want to create, don't you agree, as a business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think more of us, especially as micro businesses, we need to be putting our Australian made stamp on what we do at the moment. Australian made, Australian owned is really big on everybody's radar. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this. Thanks. I'm seeing the messages come through, so thank you. I do try and make it very interactive and a little bit off the fly rather than have a slideshow presentation. You don't need to know about what I think. It's about what you guys need for your businesses. So if there's no other questions, I know we've run quite a bit over time actually, but I'm all good for that. So you've got the extra content, and I'll be sending you a copy of this in the next 24 hours or so.
Thanks, Kerry.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.